Hey y'all, my name is Angelica Rubio, State Representative for District 35, representing the city of Las Cruces, and this is a brief update. It is Tuesday, February, what is it? I don't know. And we end at noon on Thursday. Right now, we are basically getting through bills that have made it through both the House and the Senate, or need to get to that Senate really, really quickly. And so it's a bit of a drag because some of these bills are requiring, or a lot of these bills, because they're not bipartisan, are experiencing a lot of debate. I know that the Republicans are debating a lot of our bills right now for up to like 3 hours. That's the rule. They have to stop after you can't go longer than 3 hours in the House. And so they're trying to slow the process down, which, I mean, they're in the minority. They have every right to. And so a lot of our days are long. And so today and tomorrow will likely be like that. So if you want to tune in, you can watch the webcast at, you can go to nmlegis.gov and follow the webcam there, or the webcast. It's gonna, third reading, which is where the bills start to debate, have usually been begun at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then last night I think we went till about 10:30, and then I think House Judiciary broke and went on to their committee session. I'm sharing all of that procedural stuff because I think it's important for you all to know how quickly things are starting. Even though things feel really, really slow, things are moving quickly behind the scenes because there's just legislation that has to get through. One of those pieces of legislation is the budget. Under the Constitution, in a 30-day session, we have to pass a budget. Like, there is no way around that. In the House, we passed the budget out a couple weeks ago, and it passed out of the Senate this last weekend. Unfortunately, while it was in the Senate, it got messed with, and now we in the House have to decide how to respond to this situation. For those of you who do not know the budget process, because it is a little bit complicated here in New Mexico, is that the budget framework is developed over the course of the interim. So that means that last year, when we ended the 60-day session, by April and May, Legislative Finance Committee, which is made up of both the Senate and the House, start to develop the committee for the following year. So they schedule meetings across the state. They have presentations from a number of different people to come present on their issues, particularly from state agencies talking about the work that they're doing. And so all of that information is compiled over the course of the year in preparation for the framework that will then become our budget that year. And so all of the culmination of May to December of last year, that budget was introduced to us as the session started. And in negotiations with the legislature and like the governor also has her own budget. And so we just kind of have to like figure out how to put it all together and make it work. And so this year, we are pushing about a $12 billion budget. And there has been some changes in the Senate side. So we in the House were really comfortable with how the budget left a couple weeks ago. But over the weekend, it turns out that the 1% raise that the state employees were supposed to receive, which includes teachers, was stripped from the budget we sent them a couple weeks ago. It also stripped some funding for public lands, which is an issue that's very important to me as well. And so those two things are really critical to get back onto the budget. Now, because the Senate passed the budget over the weekend, Now here in the House, we have to figure out what to do. And so this goes back to procedures again. So when a bill leaves the House or the Senate, depending on where it originates in the chamber, in whichever chamber, let's say it here in this case, it started in the House, it left the House, and we sent it to the Senate, and it goes through their committee process. Well, if they make any amendments and changes to the bill, that means that if they pass it out of their chamber, it has to come back to us for what's called concurrence. And that just means that the House needs to decide, are you cool with those changes? In this case, the Senate's bringing us back a budget that took two important things out of the bill that we wanted. And so we have to decide, like, do we concur or do we go into conference, which is, now we're going to negotiate this. This needs to be figured out. I don't know yet because I'm not privy to these conversations. I don't have the privilege of sitting in these committees, but the folks who are involved in the process are going to have to decide on our behalf as House members, like, how to move forward. And I personally am supporting no concurrence and to go to conference and figure it out. I know that's a lot, y'all. It's a very complicated place. I understand that. And this is my 10th year, and it's still what's the saying? Something like it's like you're drinking water out of a fire hose or something. It's a constant thing here. And so I want you all to know that if it feels overwhelming to you, it's still very overwhelming for me. And so I don't take that lightly. So I just wanted to give you all an update on that. The budget is very, very important. We have to pass a budget out. It's part of our constitution. Like, as elected leaders, we have to pass a budget before we leave on Thursday at noon. And so that is, I think, a top priority. Not that none of the other bills matter, because they do. I just think that this is going to have to be figured out. And you all have heard me say this before, is that budgets are a moral document, and the way in which what we prioritize is it's our values. And stripping 1% of a raise for teachers just because, even just the justification, it for me, it doesn't make any sense. But of course, I don't get to sit in these committees, so I don't have much of a say. But it doesn't to me, it doesn't make sense. And so I just wanted to put that out there. I'll try to come in and give you all an update of what's going down over the course of the next couple days. But in the meantime, I know there's a lot going on in the world, in our country. I hope you all are taking care of yourself, that you're hanging in there, and be good to each other. Like, we need each other now more than ever. And so I hope you all are doing okay.